Okay, so welcome everybody to Chalice and Chains. My name is Sam, and today we're playing another session of Edge of the Empire in my Sunday Sandbox campaign. This one is titled Not All That Glitters is Chrome, and we're picking up right where we left off from last session, so if you are interested and you haven't seen it, go check that out on the channel. They're all in a playlist, so they should be easy to find. Quick recap, Cael, our ex-partisan rebel at this point, has barricaded himself in the cockpit of the Mustang Sally after having gotten into an altercation with Ingot, our bounty hunter droid, who may or may not have... they may or may not have hit each other a few times. Actually, Cael bonked Ingot. Ingot shot Cael. So things are a little tough. But Hemi, Sasha, and Pyrene were able to successfully come out of their meeting with Cordella with the instructions to go to the Slag Pit, which is a known sort of seedy gambling den and watering hole in the lowest levels of the Corellian sector, and pick up a cargo that they will then transport to Corellia. Their instructions were to ask the bartender, Salix, for the Corellian special, and they will be provided with what they need from there. Also, thinking that it might be a good idea if they're traveling into the core worlds to possibly have a transponder signal that actually, and a crew manifest that actually corresponds to them and not the prior owner of the ship. They have contracted the services of a slicer simply because Hemi, our slicer, feels like he needs to deal with reprogramming Ingot, who has caused no small amount of trouble for the crew. And so we pick up immediately after Cael has barricaded himself in the cockpit of the Mustang Sally, and having just made a call to Hemi, effectively saying, "We have problems here. The droid has gone nuts. Come back and help." And mechanically, we are not rolling Destiny Pool today. We are keeping the Destiny Pool as we had it the last session, which means right now the poor unfortunate players only have one light side point to play with, and I have 6 dark side points. But I am sure that will change. Also, one final note on the rules. We have not typically been rolling obligation during this campaign, and that has been a conscious choice on my part, as I don't necessarily like to roll it because, as these guys will tell you, their obligations are coming up no matter what. Like, things are bad for them. And so I bring them in every session. I kind of like doing it that way, but who knows what will happen in the future. So without further ado, let's kick it over to the cockpit of the Mustang Sally. Cael, you have barricaded yourself in there. What are you going to do?
Well, he's probably freaking out a little, especially after being shot. He knows it's going to take a while for him to get there, so he's going to look at the cameras and look at Ingot, see what he's doing.
Okay. And Ingot, you had just been sparking a little bit. Your joints is sort of locked up a little bit. Not completely, so you're not completely immobile, but you have slowed way down as taking 2 shots with a big metal pipe from this soldier has really done a number on you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ingot he's got 2 emergency repair patches on him, like one's on each kind of like his thigh, probably where he keeps him at. And he's gonna quickly grab one off his left thigh, and he's gonna start, taking the parts out and start like trying to fix himself up real quick. Kind of like, I guess the Tin Man would squirt oil on himself or something like that.
Awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, so go ahead and use your repair kit. Does that give you recover 4 wounds?
It's three wounds?
Okay.
It's 3.
Nice. All right. Yeah. So go ahead and note that on your sheet.
Yep.
And we will. That should put you up to a point where you can at least kind of move around a little bit. And you can do. Oh, and before you go, just one note for the audience. Both Ingot and Cael have taken critical injuries from this fight, so they are both rather hurt. But Ingot, what are you going to do now that you've repaired yourself?
So after he repairs himself, he's going to pull out his vibro sword and go to like the door of the cockpit, and he's going to knock on it. Excuse me, humanoid. Room service.
What are the chances that I can like prepare so that way when that door opens I can slug them?
Oh yeah, I mean like if you want to basically sit there and prepare like a double aim maneuver or whatever, you could certainly do so.
Alright, so what I'm thinking is he's pretty much gonna like hide to the side where he can stretch and get ready to swing, and then he's gonna tap the button to open the door.
Okay. Absolutely. And is your intention that that you're going to like attack him as soon as he comes through the door, or are you going to wait and see what happens?
Yeah, as soon as I get a clean shot, I'm taking it.
Okay, then I think this is what we'll do. The door will open. Ingot, will you enter the room?
Yes.
Okay, then in that case, I want Cael. We're gonna roll initiative. Cael, you can roll either cool or vigilance. Add 2 boost dice. And Ingot, you just get to roll vigilance. Okay. Oh boy. All right. Ouch. Okay. So you step in, and Cael, if you want to swing, you certainly can. Go ahead and make that melee attack roll. And again, just for the sake of... go ahead.
Before he rolls, I need to tell you what I have as far as upgrades and stuff will go.
Okay, yep, perfect. And I know you have 1 defense, right? So you've got at least that.
Yeah, I have 1 defense, and with my vibro sword out, it gives me another defense.
That's right.
And then I will use 1 strain to dodge. It's one of my passives, and that is it upgrades the difficulty when I'm targeted in combat.
Nice.
By 1.
Boom.
So I'll take a strain.
Okay, perfect. And so, Cael, what you're looking at right now is 2 setback dice because you've got, you've got the defense and the fact that he's got defense. He could parry with his blade. You've got a standard 2 purple because that's what you get from melee, but it's actually upgraded once. So your difficulty is 1 purple and 1 red. You do have 2 boost dice, but I'm going to use me a dark side point, so you get a second upgrade. So this is going to be tough. You're looking at basically 2 red and 2 setback dice against your 2 boost dice for this attack.
Could I use a light side point?
You certainly can if you want to go ahead and do that. You guys, you have 1 to play with because you had 1 at the beginning. So, all right, and so I've put in an upgrade for you, and whenever you are ready, you go right ahead. And what we'll do, and just for the audience's sake, if anyone's watching, we did not put a pipe on his sheet, so he is using his vibro knife just for that. But, oh, no successes. Okay. but you did have a couple of advantages. Interesting. Okay. So, I think this is how this is going to go. Give me just a second here. All right. Well, you took 2 maneuvers to aim. All right. So, before we do this, Cael, you don't succeed in hitting him. However, you do gain some sort of advantage. Do you have any thoughts as to what you would want your advantage to be? And I mean, it can be as simple as adding a couple of setback to his next action if you want, or if you got something else that you're thinking of, you can go with that as well.
Maybe he, when I went to hit him, he moved or he tripped.
Okay, so sure. So maybe what we'll say then is that he's kind of off balance as the attack came unexpectedly, barely brings up his sword to parry your pipe, and in doing so, maybe he's off balance a little bit. And so what I'll say is that he definitely has a couple of setback on his next action. And Ingot, you have just parried this blow.
Yeah, he's just gonna like quickly respond. He's not even gonna say anything. He's just gonna go to attack him with his vibro sword. So I can roll. I'm gonna do. I will double aim on this as well, so I'll take a strain to do that.
All right. And just curious, how much strain do you have currently left?
I'm at 8 of 12, so I have 4.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Cool. All right, so you're looking then at 2 purple. You are looking at the 2 setbacks that I added. You've got the 2 boosts for a double aim. I'm going to use another dark side point, and I'm going to upgrade the difficulty on this one. Excuse me. Because that is the tone of this, and I don't know why my music turned off, which is annoying. But go ahead and roll when you are ready.
Okay. Oh, man. Fail, but I got a lot of advantage.
All right. Let's see. Wow, yeah, you do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 advantages, 2 failures. Okay, wow. So that's a bummer.
I'd like to... Could I recover... How much strain could I recover?
I mean, technically, you could recover 5 if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna recover 3 and then use the other 2 to give him a setback.
Okay. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, and so I think Cael, again, you guys are in tight quarters. He was off balance and he kind of lunges at you with this sword, right? You managed to maybe kind of get between the cockpit, chair, and you bring your pipe up, blocking, you have that loud clang on, metal on metal as your sword hit, or your pipe hits his sword. And he seems, determined. That blue, emotionless gaze of this droid's face as he's like...
I think as he blocks it, I would say something at this point, because I would be kind of annoyed that he's just not going down.
Yeah.
And I would say, surrender now, human, or I shall end you. We can come to a peaceful negotiation if you place your weapon down.
I think in return, he's gonna say, that's what you think. He would, he'll lower the weapon to bring it back up very much.
All right.
Nice. All right, so you're going to attack again then?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I probably should have, but he's not that smart. So.
Let me see. Oh, I hate
this awesome.
music. Sorry.
I like it.
There we go. Give me just a second. I'm trying to get the right music queued up here because it was. There it is.
There you go. Cool. I like the music.
Got it. All right. Okay, so let's see. So you imposed 1 setback on him with your advantage there, and you've still got the 2 difficulty for melee. I will upgrade again using a dark side point.
And I'll dodge, to upgrade it again.
Okay, upgrade it again, and then you still have your 3 defense. Okay. Boy, this is going to be tough, Cael. I'll tell you what, because with his vibro sword out and the fact that he has, you know, some natural defenses and he's dodging, that's going to be tough. So go ahead and if you want, right now you're looking at basically 2 red and 3 black dice against your, excuse me, against your attack.
Man, that's horrible. Alright, let's see what happens.
Alright.
Could I double aim and use the light side point?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. You go ahead and use that light side point. Alright. And whenever you're ready.
I don't think I'm ready.
And, you know, in case...
Come on, Cael, do it.
You got this. In case anyone's watching at home, just logistically, wow. I, as the GM, am adding all of the dice to the pool and all of the upgrades and everything because I have a GM dice pool, and they just literally click the macro on their character sheet. Okay, so again, you cannot break through Ingot's defenses. Cling, cling. And you guys have this sort of melee in this, you know, in this tight, cramped quarters here. It seems, Cael, that your luck earlier may not be holding. Do you still wish to pursue your attack on him?
Oh, you give me a chance to pull out?
No, no, no. I'm just giving you a chance to make a decision because Ingot's probably going to attack you here.
Well, since he's been trying to hit him and nothing's really going through, and they're stuck in this like little cockpit where he can easily get impaled. After this, he's going to try to run to the med bay and see if he can try to like heal himself or something.
Okay, so I mean so after this, that's assuming that you make it out of here. Are you gonna? So you're just gonna stand, you know, kind of wait, or do you want to say anything to Ingot?
He's not really gonna say anything. He'll probably just hold on to him.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
And so for that one advantage, do you want to impose a setback on his next attack?
Sure.
All right, cool. So we've got that going on. This one, we'll see what happens. Ingot, you're up.
Okay, how many light side do we have right now? Just 1?
2.
2. So I want to use 1 to upgrade on my attack. Okay, and then I'm going to double aim, so I'll take a strain.
Okay. I'm going to also upgrade.
Okay. And then tell me when I'm good to swing.
Yeah, so let's see. You've got basically 1 purple, 1 red, 1 black setback dice against an upgrade on your side, and 2 boost dice for your double aim. You are good to go. Oh, baby. Ouch. All right, so 2 threat. I'm going to impose 2 strain on you.
Okay.
And what
So
do
that's
you got?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 with a pierce of 2, so it goes through 2 soak as well.
Oh, ouch. All right, Cael, does that take you down?
So what's the total?
So it's 11 damage, but you have to, because it has pierce 2, that negates 2 points of your soak.
Oh, and can I use that last light side to do my special ability, targeted blow? It says after making I'll post it here. That's what it says.
Oh my god. Yeah, sure.
All right.
So you're going to add how much damage?
3.
3 damage. So, all right, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wow. 14 damage to you, Cael.
Yeah, that definitely does the job.
That takes you out? Okay. So I think what happens in this case is Ingot kind of steps in And I think as he steps in, you would see, like, you know, the patch, the sort of light patch that he put on his, you know, on the wounds that you dealt him earlier, is kind of ripping a little bit. But you can see that it is holding, but he's starting to leak some fluid. But because of the force of this blow, it starts, you know, spraying out onto you, Cael, and you can feel this hot, like oil basically hitting you, and it sort of distracts you for just a moment, and then he comes in with this mighty swing, and you just feel this pain searing across your chest as he cuts into you, as his blade, you know, connects with your flesh, and the pain overwhelms you, and you go down. You are now unconscious.
That's the story of my life.
That's how, like, maniacally laugh over his body.
And
Ingot would get on the comms, and he would contact Hemi and Sasha at this point.
All right. And so, Hemi, you probably get a bleep 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 on your comm, or a buzzing if you decide to keep it silent, but whatever.
Yeah, we've been running, I think, since we got the original call from Cael. I'm not sure how far we got, but my hand goes up to my ear. What line are you calling me from?
Hemi, just our internal line that we have that we would contact each other on.
Okay, so I can tell that it's Ingot. I say Ingot, and I kind of slow down and put my hand out to Sasha to let her know that I'm taking a call.
The terrorist has damaged our cockpit. He has left on foot to the following location, sending coordinates to you now. I am en route to capture and apprehend him.
What? Why was the traitor in the cockpit? He was imprisoned. You had one job.
He escaped. He
How?
used nefarious means of the partisans. He is a trained terrorist. I had told you before. He was very dangerous and should have been kept in my chamber.
Transmit the location. You stupid robot. You're going back to Papa or whoever the heck your boss is.
Affirmative. I shall ensure he is apprehended, and I'm going to send him the location of that meetup where the gang wanted to.
Oh my
ambush them.
god! Wow.
Holy shit, what a turn.
Oh man, that's so crazy.
Now, how far are we from the ship?
I would say that you are probably only about, I don't know, 10 minutes out at this point.
Okay. And the location, is that sent immediately? Ingot?
Correct.
Okay. And what do I see?
I would ask Sam, I guess, what is the location that he sees?
So right now you're basically going through, you know, the Corellian district. You guys would probably be flying up sort of high over the traffic, you know, just screaming back towards the ship as best you can. You know, Sasha doing everything she can to pilot safely through this, right? And I would imagine that, like, you know, as typical of Nar Shaddaa, it is raining and there's smog and there's neon everywhere and, you know, there's chrome, and you're just like, all you can see all around you is that and traffic.
But what do I see on the, like,
Oh, for
so
the
when I get
coordinates.
the-
I'm sorry.
like,
Yeah.
I want to know, like,
Yep.
relative to where I am.
Yeah, so that's actually, you know, in a different part of the city. The coordinates that we'll say that Ingot sent you actually would lead you into the lower levels of the red light district, which is a neighboring district, but it would probably divert you, you know, significantly far away.
So, how far? Okay, so, sorry, we are 10 minutes from the ship.
Yeah. How far
How
are you
far
from the
are
other
we
location?
From the other place, yeah.
Yeah, probably 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Mhm.
Okay.
What did our original message from Cael say?
It said that the robot was going, that had attacked him, and he needed help. And how long ago was that?
Not long
What's
at
the
all.
time?
I mean, it probably I don't know, 10 minutes. You guys weren't very far from the casino, right? When we got there, I think it was like a few minutes
We
away.
were right
so
outside.
We were only like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys probably are like nearly there to to the ship. Like you would be there very soon. So it's probably only been a few minutes since you got the call.
Right. So like less than 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say, Roger that, Ingot. So you'll meet us at that location?
That is affirmative. En route now.
Roger. Out.
And when he hangs up, Ingot, and I hate to say this, guys, this is totally in character though. He is going to use his quick draw incidental. He's going to pull out his E9 carbine blaster, and he's going to shoot the control panel of the cockpit, and then he's going to try to like disable the cockpit thing, and he's going to grab Cael, and he's going to try to take him. He's going to try to take him off the ship to the location.
Oh shit. Oh man. Yeah. So you do that. You start taking him out of the ship.
Now, over by us, can I would like to turn to Sasha. We're in the same vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to turn to Sasha, who I'm assuming is probably curious as to what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
And Pyrene would be there too with you, I believe. So
that was the other question, because
Yep.
she stayed behind. Did she end up getting in the same vehicle as us? Is, I guess, a good question. So she did.
No.
Okay.
no? Oh, okay.
Oh no.
The answer
Okay.
is I'm going to say no to that.
Okay then.
Okay. So then Pyrene's not with us.
Right.
It's just me and Sasha in the vehicle that we're in. Okay.
Mhm.
So Sasha, though, I imagine, is curious, and I would turn to her and I'd say, now, I'm going to say something, and you can tell me if you need a roll, but I've weighed this, hopefully unbiased, and I think that this is a fair conclusion. I'm going to turn to Sasha and say, Sasha, that Griffin droid's going to turn us in. There's got to be a bounty on our head.
What makes you say that?
He may have a lot of CPUs, but he's not that bright. We got a call from Cael less than 10 minutes ago from the cockpit saying that he was being attacked by the droid. Now, 8-9 minutes later, we get a call from the droid saying that the traitor is on foot 20-minute drive from here. That makes sense to you?
That doesn't make sense at all.
It's impossible. That droid's circuits are fried.
We
He
can't.
can't even lie straight.
We can't trust that droid.
But here's the good news. He doesn't know that we know that he is setting us up. He claims to be going to that location. It's got to be a trap. I don't know who else is going to be there, but we certainly won't.
Yeah. So how do we make sure that he doesn't see us not following through?
Yeah, it's a good question. There's no way to be sure where he even called us from. He could have been watching us when he called. There's no way to tell. Although, I have my suspicions that he's not too far from the ship, because that's where he was when Cael called.
Can we call Cael without calling everyone?
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can.
does our comm work any way we need it to?
Well, I don't know if you ever got Cael's
That's what I was going to
direct
say. I don't think we
signal.
ever
Yeah,
hooked him up.
because
And
I
he
think
just
he
did
called
that
from the ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically yes, but in this case no, because you guys
Because we
he's
didn't-
not on your comm frequency.
No. So we don't even know what we're doing with him yet.
Yep.
I'm thinking we take the back roads to the ship. If there's only two possibilities, Ingot is going to that location that he gave us, or he's going to be there.
Well, and Ingot, when we left, we were on foot.
It's true.
He doesn't know we're in a vehicle. But we're pretty close. Maybe we can surveil him leaving.
Yeah. Make your way up. Try not to be too suspicious with the vehicle. Just kind of cruise in there. See if we can catch him on his way out.
You got it.
And as you do that, we'll cut to Pyrene. Pyrene, where are you and what are you doing at this point?
Sorry, I didn't mute. So Pyrene is just walking away from the table in which they had their meeting with Cordella, and she looks absolutely much more joyful than she was since you guys have probably met her. And she's kind of maybe skipping a little bit, and she's looking at her communicator. I'm assuming or are they just it's all analog, right? It's not a digital thing, so it wouldn't have a screen, would it?
Right.
Okay. So she does know that she has contacts to medical facilities here on the planet, where she probably could get some supplies because that's what she really needs to do. And she calls a supplier that she knows that she'll be able to get things from.
Okay.
Not interested in whatever's going on with that. She's just gonna go back to the ship. You know what I mean? She had her little bit of a conversation that she needed to with the Cordella, and she's just gonna meet him back to the ship. She knows nothing of any of this that's going on.
Yep. All right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
so
but she's gonna make a stop off to pick up the supplies that she needs.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So you're gonna kind of go to or try to divert to a medical, maybe supply place first, or a contact that that can get you, sort of the basics that you need before heading to the ship. Okay.
Yes, that's what she would like to do.
Yep. All right. Absolutely. So I'll tell you what. Go ahead and spend a light side point for me and tell me who that contact is. Or if you would rather not spend a light side point, you can always make a knowledge underworld roll to see kind of the best place to go that won't cost you too much money and is somewhat reputable, if you want. And what I'll do is, if you want to do that, it's just going to be against 2 purple. However, because you guys need dark side points, I'm going to upgrade it once, and I'm going to give you a boost dice as well, because I think that it's possible that you would probably easily be able to find medical suppliers wherever you go. So
yeah, I mean, I'll roll the underworld.
Yep. And you go for it whenever you're ready. Okay, fantastic. So, tell me who this contact is, and how you know them.
Okay, so it's it's actually an old school mate that unfortunately didn't make it through school, but they had so much knowledge of the supplies of it, they opened up a little shop here that's on Shabbat. Their name is Macy.
Macy? Okay. Cool. And what species is Macy?
Macy is she's a human.
Okay. And you would know a particularly useful piece of information about her dealings on Nar Shaddaa. What I'll say is that you know that she has been connected with Durga the Hutt's organization, sort of tangentially, right?
Right.
That you know that she is much more likely to work with you if she knows that you are part of Durga's organization.
Right, absolutely. Yep. And it's it's something that, it's another girl that, does like to kind of gossip a little bit. They were friends, you know what I mean? And so, they haven't really maybe talked even through communicator, but they, through maybe messaging, they've kept in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
if you're ever on Nar Shaddaa, look me up, and I'll hook you up with whatever you need.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and so you reach out to her, send her a message or whatever saying, hey, I need some supplies. And she responds back basically saying, yeah, no problem. I just got a shipment in. Come by. We can work out a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And she goes ahead and goes to do that. This
awesome.
Shenanigans is going on.
Nice.
Now, here's a question to the group. Do you feel as if you guys gave Pyrene your communicator, numbers?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I'm pretty sure we did.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like we talked about that last session too and said the same.
Okay. All right, I just want to make sure. She doesn't immediately get a hold of you guys. I'll let you. She does.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, and Rory, it would be absolutely feasible that you could flip a light side point to say that you're making it there. Ingot is slowed by his injuries and carrying a large human. By the way, Ingot, how would you be carrying Cael or transporting Cael?
Over my shoulder.
Yeah, I figured. Awesome. And so I think then what happens, we'll cut back to the ship. And I think you guys will be sort of making your way, I would think, at pretty fast speed into the, into the landing bay, right? Just as you're seeing Ingot kind of coming out of the ship, you see the boarding ramp go up. He's got Cael slumped over his shoulder, and he's basically only like a few feet away from the exit door, meters, I'm sorry, because this is Star Wars, a few meters away from the exit door to, basically out into the city.
Were we able to kind of like buzz in there kind of like quietly? Like, was Sasha able to like kill the engine or something? Because we were trying to like kind of cruise in there.
If you want to do it stealthily in a way that maybe he won't know, I'm going to require a piloting check on that one. And Ingot, what is your perception?
Let's see. Perception, I think, is low. Oh, wait, sorry. It's a yellow and 2 green.
Okay. So in that case, then, Chris, you're going to need to make the check against 1 red and 2 purple difficulty. And, of course, I'm going to upgrade it.
Okay.
And so it'll be ultimately 2 red, 1 purple.
Okay.
Yep.
And this is piloting.
Yes, it is piloting. I'm also going to give you a boost dice, though, because Ingot is distracted by Cael, obviously. And so, that should make it a little easier. So this will be piloting planetary.
Planetary, right.
Yep.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. I think then what I'm going to do, Sasha, you're going to take 2 points of strain as you are basically doing everything you can to kind of keep the speed high because you're trying to get in there, but not have the engines rev. And so if you want, go ahead and maybe give me the description of this kind of maneuver that you do that gets you in there at speed, but quiet. But it also is like, whoa, that took all of your mental and physical ability as a pilot.
Oh man. You guys asked me to describe the hardest things.
Yep. That's why this is a narrative game.
Sasha, she's her brows furrowed in concentration, and she does that really awesome muscle car move, right? Where only silent, or Kit, like Kit. So, she slides in and then just kind of spins the controls to one side, and it just slides over and neatly comes to a perfect stop, like on the curb, as it were. Or
right, absolutely, yeah, yep. And so you would have come in behind Ingot as you see him kind of slowly making his way towards the main door of on the way out of the docking bay, and he's just about to make it there, and seems to be getting ready to like put his hand up on the thing to make the door open and leave.
There he is. Let's wait for him to come out.
I think we like crouch. I crouch, like slide down so I can barely see over the whatever the equivalent of a dashboard is in these vehicles,
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you're just gonna...
Is that Cael on his shoulder?
Crazy robot killed him.
Should we take him out?
I say we wait for him to get out the exit. And then... do you think you could just run him down? We gotta put him down. If we could salvage him.
But what will do to Cael?
And Sam's giving us maybe a little clues here. I kind of look around. What is this scene? Like, is it broad day? Is this like 12 o'clock in the afternoon?
Well, I mean, so it's Nar Shaddaa. So Nar Shaddaa is always busy. It's always sort of dark and foggy. Well, not dark. It's always, pollution everywhere. But yes, it is. There would be people around if you were to exit your docking bay. Right now, there's probably just like loaders and droids and stuff,
Hemi, what if I run up on him, slide, I'll turn, and you can take him out with the door, and then we can grab Cael.
Okay, let's do it.
And just at that moment, Hemi, your comm starts beeping again. Beep, 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 beep. What do you do?
Griff. I look. Do I see a number?
Yeah, but you don't recognize it.
I'm gonna have to hit my communicator and take it. There's too much going on to ignore it.
Nice.
Hello?
And he says, "Hello. Is this Hemi?"
Yeah. Who is this?
Name's Jobel. I got your contact info from Cordella. Says you need help with your ship. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
You there now? I mean, if you give me the coordinates where you're at, I can come over and see what's going on.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. There's a little bit of an emergency. I will give you those coordinates immediately.
An emergency? I mean...
It's just a private matter. And he's going to hang up the comm and immediately send the coordinates.
Okay. You hang up the comm. Great. You send the coordinates, and were you sort of moving or you know, like heading towards Ingot while doing that, or did that pause you?
So it definitely paused me. Well, okay, so it would pause me, but if Sasha like opened the door and started to go on with her plan, I would then have started moving too. So I kind of have to ask Sasha. Did you pause when the call came?
Pause.
Okay. So then, yeah.
So Ingot makes it to the door. Door opens. You can see the kind of smoke and smog come in from the outside, and you can see him slowly sort of trying to walk out the door.
Okay, so the call is ended.
Come down a ramp, right, first?
No, he already did. He was nearly at the door by the time you guys got there.
Okay.
You can still see him. He's now starting to make his way. He will probably get out unless you do something.
He's probably gonna do like one of those Terminator runs.
Yeah.
So I hit the gas. Hold on, and maneuver up next to Ingot.
And I'm just going to, like, right before we part, I just wanted to like, kind of say to you, set it to stun.
Can you repeat that? You broke up.
Set the blaster to stun.
Sweet.
He's still salvageable.
Sweet. I like that. So you want enough room? You want enough room then to just shoot him?
I think that's, with him walking away, I think that's our best option. We're not killing anybody. It's a droid. We'll be stunning him, and we'll be taking him back on our ship. I think that's the best option.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Right.
So let me just make sure I have the logistics of this right. So you're basically, Sasha, you're trying to get in on your speeder and sort of whip it around, and then Hemi will like dive out of the thing and like shoot at Ingot or something, or
I think at this point what we're talking about is a drive-by.
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 Yeah.
Oh, okay, a drive-by.
Yeah,
Oh,
drive-by.
yes.
Yeah.
That is
so I'm just
perfect.
gonna get him up there where he can get a really easy shot.
Damn, people,
Okay.
this has gotten Edge of the Empire. Awesome.
Really
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great. So
Okay.
then I think then what I'm going to have us do is, Sasha, I'm going to have you make another piloting roll for me. And the piloting roll is going to either add boost or setbacks, depending on how it goes, to Hemi's roll to shoot. So I think that, you know, you're in a fairly constrained space here. You're not making any attempt at this point to be quiet, though, right? Like, you're just going to gun it?
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Excellent. And I think that you're pretty determined. So I'll give you a boost, but it is going to be against, it's going to be pretty hard. So it's going to be a base of 3 difficulty. However, I'm going to use a dark side point to upgrade it.
Okay.
So
and I would like to upgrade as well.
Okay, great. So, yep, you go ahead and use the light side. So right now you're looking at 1 boost dice and an upgrade on your piloting planetary versus 1 red and 2 purple on the negative side. And whenever you're ready, go for it. Okay. So, again, awesome. Sasha, you're going to take 2 points of strain. Oh, sorry, 1 point of strain. But what we're gonna do, Hemi, you'll get 2 boost dice to your check, to your your combat check, your ranged light skill.
Excellent, and I will be using a light side point.
Yes.
Okay, I will also use a dark side point.
Can I use my dodge here? It just says when I'm targeted.
Yep, absolutely. And so does that, again, that upgrades it, right?
Yep.
Okay, you have 1 normal defense. I'm going to also...
my defense is only for melee, by the way.
Okay, so I'm still going to add a setback because Cael's on there, and so he sort of adds a little bit of cover.
Nice.
And you're sort of halfway out the door. But you're going to get in real close, right? So this is going to be like, I mean, like, do you want to pull up like right next to him to give yourself the absolute best chance? Or are you going to kind of stay at medium range?
I mean, I would say we pull up because, I mean, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but I think, you know, having Cael gives him a little bit of cover, but it also makes him a little bit more sluggish and he's holding something. So I'm not really worried about him swinging anything at me because one of his arms is occupied.
Yep, exactly.
And I'm thinking, you know, I'm trying to get you at point blank range.
Okay, yeah. So you get in real close. All right. And Hemi, do you want to take a double aim maneuver?
Okay, tell me how that works.
So you basically, basically, you can take, because you're not moving, essentially, Sasha's moving for you, you can do that, and essentially what it'll do is you'll use up your 2 maneuvers. You'll have to take 2 strain to do it, because you're also going to shoot, but it'll give you 2 boost dice. No, or you can just take 1 and just do 1 boost dice, but...
No, I have plenty of strain, I just took grit, which gives me more strain, so yeah,
awesome.
Let me do that.
All right, man. So you're looking at...
That's what the grit's for.
Yep. You're looking at 4 boost dice with an upgrade against 1 red and 1 purple with 1 setback.
Let's go. Boom!
Okay. And what is the... So you didn't click the macro next to the weapon. So what weapon were you using?
Oh shoot! I'm sorry.
No, which is okay. Yeah. That's not a problem. What's the
I think I have a light pistol. A light blaster pistol.
All right, so that's probably 5 damage, I think. On a light blaster.
light blaster pistol.
All right, so 5, 6, 7, 8.
Rarity 4. Sorry, I should have this.
That's okay.
It's a medium.
So that's 8 damage. And Ingot, of course, that is strain damage, but your soak still applies.
My strain threshold is exceeded.
Okay, so you see, holy shit, this worked perfectly. Ingot goes down in a heap. As you can see, his circuits are overloaded. Cael also drops basically on top of him. As you kind of swing by, you know, blast out from the door. And I do need to ask, did you hold the gun sideways when you shot?
So here's what that kind of looked like. First of all, Hemi's left arm is wrapped around Sasha's waist, and the ride is like his face, his lips are like when a dog, like the wind is blowing too much and the lips are like... He's like trying to hold the gun straight, and it's kind of like bobbling around, and it does go sideways, but only because he almost dropped it. Like the swoop bike kind of bopped a little bit, and he almost lost it, and he grabbed it again sideways and pulled the trigger, and that's why it looked so cool. But in reality, he almost messed the whole thing up.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
Well, I don't know why I was envisioning a car. It's a swoop bike.
Or whatever. Yeah, I sort of envisioned it as a car also, but however, that's fine.
I'm sorry, I was getting confused because
no, it's better if it's a swoop bike. I sort of love that you guys would have been like, you know, riding like one behind the other on the swoop bike through the streets of Nar Shaddaa. Like, you know, Sasha's like, whatever, we steal swoop bikes. I've done this, no problem. But we'll say you didn't steal it. But because let's not do that again.
Yeah, once is enough.
Amazing. And so as you sort of get off the swoop bike and you're standing over the 2 prone figures here, the door, like Ingot falls and basically falls into the doorway, and the door keeps trying to close on him. Like you keep hearing this clank, 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 and then
that's awesome.
Yeah, as it's like smashing against his shoulder. But it's, you know, it's one of those things where it's sort of like an elevator door where as soon as it senses that pressure, it backs off. So, but it just keeps doing it, and Cael is basically like lying on top of him, bleeding. So at this point, Ingot is, at least the top of him is purple because the red blood from Cael leaking onto his blue chassis is turning him purple, which looks rather menacing. There are a few people outside sort of looking, you know, they basically toss like the briefest of glances your way and then look away like whatever, you know, no big deal. Like nobody, you know, we're not in danger here. So what do you do?
Can you do something to keep him down?
Man, okay. So, you know, I think, you know, like Hemi like pats Sasha's shoulder to kind of like, you know, slow the bike down. You know, which I assume we did if we're now seeing the door opening and shutting. We're kind of walking up and I see one of those guys look over and I call to him, I say, hey, you want to make 20 credits?
And I think it's like this like really young Rhodian, like he's probably a kid, and he kind of looks over at, you know, and you're holding the gun in your hand, or you just put it away or whatever, and he's looking at this situation. He's like, what do I have to do?
If he's a Rhodian, this might not work. I think I was hoping it was something else.
It can be somebody else if you want. That's fine. What were you hoping?
I'm hoping it's a fairly big person. Big race.
Yeah, sure. All right. So then yeah, it's a Trandoshan. Oh, 20 credits. What do you want?
I need this droid back on my ship. He's malfunctioning and he's out of his mind.
He's like, you just want me to take him, put him on your ship back there, and you'll give me 20 credits?
That's right. Real quick like.
He's like, yes, sir. And what about the human there?
We'll take care of him. A little more gentle with that one.
Okay. Sure. And so, yeah, so he starts picking up.
Yeah.
By the way, because you requested it, I gotta turn it down, though, sorry.
I can't even hear it.
All right. Well, it was really loud on my end because the jukebox isn't working well. But you couldn't hear it?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh no. That's too bad.
And when I click, it says nothing playing currently.
Let me try this. You get
there
that?
It is. I hear that. Yep.
Boom. There it is. All right. Welcome to the jungle.
That's appropriate for this moment.
Yes. Thank you for the suggestion. And yes, so that guy is taking Ingot back onto the ship. Cael is lying there.
Yeah, so I imagine that, like, while he was having that conversation, I hit the door so that it would open. And then I take one of Cael's arms and, like, lift him up, you know, put his arm over my shoulder. And I imagine I can, you know, kind of visualize us just following this big guy, this big Trandoshan in to the ship.
Okay.
Dragging Cael.
Yeah, and I'm helping with Cael. I grabbed the other side.
Okay. And so I think maybe what happens is, yeah, you bring him in. The Trandoshan kind of looks at you, right? And he's like, all right, where do you want him?
My room, where all my computer things are. So I point him out to my room in the ship and say, right over there.
And he's like, all right, fine. So he drops him off in there, and he comes back to you and says, now, give me those credits.
And I hand him over.
All right, awesome. So you do that, and he's like, you got a nice ship here. Thanks for doing business.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
And I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut now back over to Pyrene. I think Pyrene at this point... Oh, go ahead.
I just want to, because this might play into Pyrene's next scene, but I think the next thing I would say is I would turn to Sasha and I just kind of sigh and say, you better call Pyrene right away.
Yeah, we could really use her help, but I'll do what I can in the meantime.
Okay, so then in that case, Pyrene, you basically make it to like right outside of Maya's sort of like warehouse shop area. And just as you're about to like, knock on the door, your comm starts to beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, she takes a look at it.
Okay. And you would definitely recognize that it's the, like your internal, frequency or whatever. So it would be coming from one of the crew.
Yeah. And it's a voice.
Yep.
Okay. And she looks at it. She looks at the door. She looks back at the phone and goes, initiates the call. Hello? Hello?
Am I calling her? Or?
Yeah. I assume so, right?
Well, actually, I had said we better call her, but if you're tending to him, then I suppose I would be on the phone with her.
Right.
Okay.
On that, but I could also be giving him the pillow. So it's kind of up to you. If you want to be making the call, that's fine by me.
Well, I have medicine, so I was actually thinking it would make sense if Hemi made the call.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yes. So then it's me. I say, hello, Pyrene.
Captain?
Yep, it's us. So, you want to really be a part of this crew?
Just picking up some supplies. We talked about it on the way over. I had to do that because her shoulder's real bad, and I thought you said it was.
Yeah, absolutely. But now's the time to prove it. We really need you. Get whatever you're trying to get, and get back to the ship as fast as possible.
Oh, okie dokie.
See you here. And he hangs up.
Okay. And so the call hangs up, and there you are standing outside. The smog is cloying and disgusting, and lots of traffic, lots of, sketchy people walking by or driving by, right? I mean, Macy's not in the nicest part of town, but you recognize her security droid out front, and you see like a little camera on the front kind of and pan to you.
And she just waves at it.
And then you see the security droid, and this is like sort of an old, like broken down. It looks like an old battle droid from the Clone Wars, but it's just like a piece of junk. But it has a blaster, and it was sort of held not pointing at you, but at attention. And now all of a sudden, it kind of snaps up onto its shoulder, and the whole thing kind of like goes rigid. And then the dock. The door opens, and standing there is Macy, looking at you, and she says, "Pyrene Joy, as I live and breathe, what brings you back to this part of town?"
Macy Lou, I can't believe. And she just runs in and hugs her.
Right. Yep. And Macy's like, "Man, it's been a long time. I thought where were you? You were in Hutt space somewhere, right?"
Yeah, it's been an interesting time for me. Whatever happened to you? I mean, like really. Because you said you really didn't want to talk about it, but you were almost better than me.
She's like, and you see like the sort of the joy that was not. I mean, happiness at seeing an old friend is now gone on her face. Yeah, and she's like, "Yeah, well, sometimes you make mistakes and you get in with the wrong people and." Then before you know it, those people tell you what to do and where to go, and you can't get out.
Yeah, I know that all too well, actually, girl. But it's so good to see you, Mace. I wish you would have come to graduation. Was it just too hard?
Yeah, I couldn't go. I just, you know, I just couldn't. But listen, don't come on in. I don't want you standing out, you know, here exposed to the street. Come on in. And
it's man, Liz, it's so good to see you. And she just she does walk in. Now she looks around to make sure it looks straight.
Oh yeah, for sure. In fact, it looks like she's doing fairly well for herself. But you know, this would be like a small kind of supply shop within. But one thing that you notice is that she's got a ton of security and like cameras everywhere. There seems to be like armed droids of different makes and models all over the place. Like she doesn't mess around. You know, and for a medical facility, you get the impression that this place has probably been hit a few times. But she also seems to have fairly nice decor. She's got lots of like, you know, like old Republic art on the wall, and you know, some stuff that you like that you've only seen in like holo documentaries, right? Like nice stuff, not super nice. Like, you know, middle class person could afford it. So she's doing all right.
Yeah, absolutely. And she, you know, so you know, I would assume that Macy kind of walks in a bit, and she follows her. Now she's a third the height of this woman.
Yeah.
You know, so and she's just looking around, and she goes, "That's the fourth security droid I've seen. Are you okay, Mace?"
She's like, Pyrene, this is Nar Shaddaa. You don't keep security. You don't stay in business very long.
Oh yeah, forget that. I was on Todaria for too long, and it's, you know, they got those stupid stormtroopers there, and it's you know.
Yeah, although I hear. I don't know. I mean, the holovids, they're saying something happened. I mean, it's all being hushed up, but word on the street says there was an attack there. Did you have to see any of that? Did patients come in? I mean, what? In fact, why are you here if there was an attack?
Yeah. I saw it, Mace. I saw all of it, actually. I was kind of a little bit in the middle of it.
Really? What? Tell me about it.
Well, you know, I got a pretty cushy job because of my, you know how it is out here in the Outer Rim. We all kind of have a backer, you know, and it's my and you know, we've talked before. My family can't afford the schooling that we went to, and so I had to do what I had to do. But so I had a great little cushy job at a great medical facility right there on Toydaria, and you know, I was sent to respond to what you probably heard. There was it probably was an attack. I don't know. There was a huge explosion. Get into the military things. You know how I am.
Oh yeah.
When that girl started making fun of me, I couldn't even hit her, and then you did for me.
And you can see sort of like the look on somebody's face when they're recalling something, and she's like, "Yeah, that was a long time ago, but looks like you got you got the better end of the deal." Speaking of deals,
really? Because this is fabulous around here. Look, is that what I think it is?
She's, what do you think it is?
And that's your no way.
And she's like, don't tell anyone, but most of this stuff is knockoffs. But listen.
Oh yeah.
You said you needed some supplies, right? Do you have like some clients? Are you here to stay?
No, it's okay. So I know that we know a lot of secrets about each other when we were in school and stuff, but like, you can keep a secret, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So my backer is pretty well known. you know how much that school cost, and I couldn't just go to some low level, just credit, hacker. But so I might have gotten in with the Hutts.
The Hutts.
Yeah. And I got a really great friend out of it. Her name is Cordella, and she works for Durga. And she kind of looks down at the floor and feels ashamed because, that's not really somebody that, somebody from her planet would deal with.
Right. And she's like, Durga.
Yeah, he paid for all of it. All of my school, and I owe him a lot. Like a whole lot. And I have to make monthly payments, and so it was. They hooked me up with that great job at Tordaria, and then the governor, and she started talking really fast.
And she's like, Pi, it's okay. Listen, I understand. I know how it is. Here, just wait here for a minute. And she goes kind of. And she'll legit, she'll go off into the back and she'll start and just sort of leaves you in mid sentence as you're gonna talk about the governor, and then she comes out with this crate of supplies, and she says, "Listen, you work for Durga. I know that's hard. I can part with these. Normally this would be expensive, but since we're friends and you're hard up." Maybe I can part with these for 500 credits. I mean, it's a huge discount, but
yeah, and you are you sure? Because you need to keep the lights on.
She's like, "Oh, don't worry. I just got in a big shipment of supplies. I'll be fine. But yeah, please just take these. It's not much. I wish I could do more, but like you said, I need to keep the lights on."
No, and I get that. So this is it. I do have that many credits, and I could certainly have that transferred to you right now. And she looks at her communicator, and what's your transponder number?
And she kind of looks at you for a minute, and she's like, "You want to deal in credits, not in Hutt currency? Sure. Oh, okay. Give me just a second." And she reaches into her, and so you kind of know that in Hutt space, they like to deal in hard currency and gold, basically, right? But they still take credits because credits are credits. And so she reaches into her desk and pulls out this little data pad thing, and she says, "Here, this is encrypted. Just go ahead and put your credit chip in here. You just hit this button and it'll transfer it."
Well, I've seen one of these before. They use them on Toydaria as well. That's what happens when you work for kind of a government agency. And she was going to say legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She's like, "Oh yeah, people in my line of work, these are essential, absolutely." And so I assume you go ahead and transfer the credits. Perfect.
Yeah. And that is the last of the money that she has.
Nice. But you have a basic supply of medical stuff. And so she's like, "So listen, I wish that you could stay and catch up. Are you going to, I have a meeting in a few minutes, but are you going to be on the moon for a little while? Maybe we can catch up."
I would love to have, dinner. It's, I'm sure the greatest places around here, and then we could catch up. And I've got to tell you about this boy that I met on Toydaria.
She's like, "Oh, yes, that would be wonderful. Okay, listen, you give me a couple hours. You call me back. We'll make dinner arrangements. In the meantime, do you need any help transporting that, or do you got it?"
No, Cordella, I have a car.
Okay, great.
Not my car, obviously. It's owned by Cordella, and she's kind of. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yep, I know Cordella, and at this moment, you actually see a couple of really seedy looking people come in, like a Nikto and a Defel, and then they're sort of they pop in, they look around, and then this sort of really swanky looking fellow in in green. Crap, I can't remember this. I'm just blanking on the species name now. They're the ones with the pheromones. Anyway,
not what I,
The thing that's
no.
Iowa?
What?
not was I.
No. They weren't Zeltron. They were the ones that like Prince Shizor of Black Sun. Those guys. Crap. I'm a bad Star Wars GM. Sorry, guys. But anyway, it's one of those guys. And he walks in and just seems to like. I mean, you get the impression this is the kind of guy where anywhere he goes, he owns the place. You know.
Yeah.
And she kind of is like, her eyes go up and she's like, oh, that's my meeting. I gotta go. But listen, give me a call a little bit later. We'll do dinner, okay?
Okay. You have a hover cart? Because I can't carry this box.
Oh yeah. It'll do that automatically. There's like a little thing that it'll just hover. Yep.
Cool. Because there's no way she can carry that.
Yeah.
And she just looks and she does go and run over and hug her around the legs. I will hit you up but man, there's so much to tell you. This last 24 hours was crazy, but okay, have fun at your meeting. And I actually got a thing too that. All right, yeah, bye. She, you can tell she doesn't want those things where she's uncomfortably knows she's overstaying her welcome, but kind of doesn't care.
Yep.
Nice. Well, all right. And she looks up at now. Is this guy fairly good looking too?
Yeah, it's there it is, Falleen. That's what they're called, the Falleen.
Okay.
Yes, so as you walk past him, you kind of like, you don't know if it's this cologne that he's wearing or what, but like you've done your medical training, you seem to remember something about these guys that they give off pheromones. And you know it's true because man, you're like, wow. But he pays you no mind. And those big thugs probably to you look like really big thugs. You know, and so he kind of walks over and he says, Macy, it is good to see you again. I trust that you have the shipment for us. And she's like, sorry, she doesn't cough. That was me. She's like, yes, of course. I've got it in the back. No problem. And they start talking shop. And so would you basically get your supplies, put them in your car, and probably head back to your ship?
Yeah. And, and she, tells the droid driver to if you could kind of hurry up a little bit, that'd be great. And and she gets on her communicator and calls Hemi back.
Awesome. And actually what I'm going to do, if it's all right with everybody, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break here. So why don't we all do that? We'll convene back at 9:35 Eastern and go from there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Oh yeah.
Well, so what did I miss in the beginning?
Basically,
Fight war?
yeah, there was a fight, and Ingot won.
Clearly.
Yep. They beat up each other in the cockpit.
Hilarious.
Yep.
Those two motherfuckers.
Yep. It's crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, and then of course everything. This is why I love this game, because like you can never plan for anything. Like you just don't know what's gonna happen. You know, like.
Well, absolutely. I mean, like.
That drive's dirty, by the way.
Hemi's like, let's do a drive-by, and then like it works exactly as he hoped it would. You know. It's like, when does that ever happen for you guys?
Never.
Yeah.
Maybe our luck is turning around. Why not?
We'll see.
Crazy Sam.
Yep. I mean, you know, and people always talk about like how PvP is bad and how it should be avoided and how you never want to split the
I thought
party.
it was great.
You know, and it's like, that's all you guys do in this thing, and it's great. So, you know, but oh man, I'm so interested because, of course, you know, you got like a meeting with a person who's supposed to like give you your cargo. So I'm like, how'd that gonna go?
Yeah, I think it depends on the players.
Yep.
You know, if you have, I think all of us, we know how to role play and like differentiate between the character and the player.
Yeah.
So I think it works really well.
Oh yeah, totally.
And we all get along really well, so we know that it would never really be detrimental to it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure. Well, and I think, you know, that was evidenced by the fact that you guys were like, yep, I'm going to use this light side point here, and yep, I'm going to do this because it's like obviously going to help you, you know. And I thought that was great. You know, it's like, yep, it's going to give you some advantage in your PvP, but that's good. You know, it made sense.
So good.
Oh, yeah. Man, I don't know. This sounds exactly like the Guns N' Roses song, but it says by Cherno. So I'm wondering, I just pulled it from like the jukebox, so I'm wondering if it's legit, like if I can use it without a copyright thing.
Wow. If it's in the jukebox, you can probably hear it.
Yeah, which is sweet. Because what a perfect theme song for this session.
So Sam, were you expecting like any of it or not?
I was not expecting a drive-by that incapacitated Ingot. I thought for sure that
awesome.
one of you guys was gonna win that fight. Obviously, I thought one of you was gonna go unconscious, and then if it was you, Cael, then I figured Ingot was gonna turn you in, and if not, then I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I had a feeling, you know, he would end up in the in his little torture chamber of death and despair. You know, maybe getting wires pulled out or something. But yeah, did not expect Hemi to go gangsta and bust a cap in your ass, so to speak.
Hopefully that guy coming to repair the ship can repair the cockpit.
Yeah, well, oh man, yeah.
Yeah, jeez, did you have to mess up the ship?
Dick.
And he didn't want them to get away.
Nice.
We need to reprogram this motherfucker like ASAP.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Well, this is the moment that
But
Hemi's
you
been
know
waiting
something?
for.
Yeah, but the thing I love about it is you stated that you haven't fucking
Yeah.
given in because you want to be part of the, you know, because you didn't want to create conflict. I love that you're staying at it, and that's, but man, good thing that is not around anymore. She would have hated you.
Oh yeah. Yup, it would have been bad.
It would have been bad because she
Oh
would,
yeah,
she
it
would
would have been bad.
have put up with that shit. Zaya putting up with English shit, that would not have happened.
Yeah,
No,
he would have been spaced already. I don't know, Hemi. This is working out well for you so far.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I almost felt a little bad. Like I felt like there was a little meta, like because I knew what he was gonna do, but then I realized that it just didn't add up, and maybe that was my in.
Yep.
So I decided to take it.
I don't think it was meta. I think
No, I wouldn't trust Ingot.
Right? That's funny.
You know, everybody else doesn't see it that way, right? Like I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the distance I think that allowed me to do it, because like I was thinking about it, I was like, ooh, just between Cael and Ingot. I mean, Ingot's wacky, and we all know that, but I mean, maybe I would give him the benefit of the doubt and just go to the spot and not assume ambush. But when you said he was 20 minutes away by car, and he was on foot, I was like, that would have meant he had to have done this like 40 minutes ago. At least.
Oh yeah, and that was probably a mistake in my description of it, but either way, I think it worked.
Too bad.
Yep.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out.
Yep. So cool. All right. So if we are all back,
We are back.
excellent. So I think what we're gonna do, there would have been like a scene wipe, and then I think that this would be the situation where like everybody would be showing up to the ship at the same time. So like you guys are obviously already back on the ship, right? Sasha, you were tending to Cael, is that right?
Correct.
And Hemi, you, I assume, are probably standing over Ingot's prone form?
Actually, I mean, if there's been time, I know mechanics and I know computers. I'd like to find some sort of mechanical way to constrain him, like, you know, bolting his arms together in a specific spot or something like that, or activating a program that, like, doesn't allow him to move his limbs. I don't want to get killed by this robot, essentially.
Sure. Yeah, or you could, I mean, I suppose if you wanted to, you could always just, like spend a light side point to say that you have equipment on the ship that could easily kind of
Or a restraining bolt.
Yeah, there you go. You could have a restraining bolt, yeah.
Okay, then I will do that.
Perfect. So you pop a restraining bolt on him, and you know that when he comes to, his programming will be overridden by the restraining bolt, and he'll have to do what you say.
Excellent.
At least within reason.
And then, I mean, other than that, I would just be probably pacing, actually, if we're being honest. I would just be nervously waiting for Pyrene to come back and hopefully stop Cael from completely dying.
Yep. Absolutely. And Sasha, you as you're kind of tending to Cael, I mean, he's definitely got a large slash across his chest. He's not doing too good. How much do you want to do? I mean, he looks like without medical attention, he will probably bleed out. You can't tell exactly how long. He's not like gushing blood out of him, but you know, it looks pretty bad. It looks pretty gruesome.
Right. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I thought I didn't do a medicine check. So, I imagine that Sasha would grab anything she could and kind of try to apply some pressure to the worst spot, you know, where it's gushing the worst, where it's deepest or something, and do what she can. And yeah, and I mean, I feel like we said that there's some supplies on the ship.
Yeah, there were well, so I mean, when you guys left Toydaria, Pyrene had kind of run around and just kind of hastily grabbed as much stuff as she could. So there was some basic. You probably have some bandages and the like, but you wouldn't necessarily have any painkillers. You wouldn't necessarily have, you know, the antiseptics that you would need. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So I grab those basic things and do what I can. You know, make sure the clothing's away from the wound, and you know, do what I can. Like I said, to apply pressure, I think is the main thing.
Right.
And then if you want, I can roll a medicine.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Why don't we go ahead and do that? What I'm going to say is, so because his wounds basically have exceeded his wound threshold, that is a difficult check. So that's normally 3 purple. I'm going to upgrade it once, because, you know, he definitely got slashed by, you know, by a big old blade, and he was highly, you know, like there was a lot of adrenaline at the time. So, you know, and you're kind of, you got some medical training, but you know,
it's like rudimentary field training.
Yeah, and not even with very good supplies. So, so I'll just do that. It'll be against 2 purple and 1 red.
And if everybody's okay with it, I will use a light side to upgrade.
Cool, man.
As well.
Do it.
Awesome. All right, and you ready?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, baby.
All right, excellent. And let me just take a look at skills, because I don't remember on a medicine check if that just stabilizes or if it actually heals. But you did succeed anyway, which is good. All right, let's see. Medicine. I'm going to impose a point of strain on you, though, for that threat, because it sounds like you don't want Cael to die, which is nice. Each success on a medicine check normally heals a single wound up to the maximum number of wounds the target is currently suffering. Beyond that, additional successes have no mechanical effect, but may represent partially completed medical aid. Okay. All right. Wow. So medicine checks are hard. Okay. So you're able to heal. So Cael, you gain 1 wound point back.
Actually, I can it just be that she has made it so he kind of won't die, and he's not awake yet?
Yeah, he's certainly not awake yet. But
so he's just like kind of stabilized.
Sure. I mean, we could say that he's, at least to a point. Like, you'll need to get in there and do something.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, you're gonna have
things, guys.
Yep. But
I'm doing like basic first aid.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Love it.
And I think that's just to basically deal with his injury. It doesn't even help his critical injury as of yet. But I would think at this point you've stabilized him, at least for the moment. Hemi is kind of pacing around the ship, and Pyrene, at this point you would show up, and you would get there. Your car would pull up. You start kind of getting the stuff out, and then you would see this Bothan kind of walking in, standing nearby, and he starts he pulls out this comm, and it looks like he's going to call somebody. But he's in your docking bay.
Yeah. Well, okay. So she gets out of one of Cordella's cars, like one of those town cars that we.
Yep.
And can I help you?
He says, "I don't think so, unless you're the owner of that ship."
I'm a crew member of the ship. She smiles at him.
He's like, "Oh, excellent. Yeah, the gentleman that I spoke to earlier, he said he had a bit of a personal emergency or something, but yeah, he still needed my services. I just need to get on the ship. I'm here to help fix your transponder."
Oh, that's really good. But what's your name?
He's like, name's Jobel.
Jobel. That's what she said. Okay, well, it's can a personal What? Okay, well, give me a minute, okay? I'm actually. Can you carry this? And she just pushes a box of supplies into his hand.
And he actually looks really really uncomfortable. I mean, he's like, no. Listen, I don't want to be part of anything that you've got going on here. Look,
No, wait. Listen, it's just, and she opens up the box and it's just medical supplies. I'm a doctor and I do just medical supplies. It's not a big deal. But would you mind if I go in there and if there's a personal thing, I need to know what that is, and it might not be.
Sure.
Just a second.
Well, and he says, wait, and he pushes the button on the crate that activates the repulsors, and he's like, take your supplies. I don't want to be responsible for them. And so if you could just push them along, it's easy.
Yeah. You know, she was just messing up a little.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, just give me 2 and 2, okay? Like 2 seconds, and she goes in and initiates the door, and it comes down. And it's got blood all over it, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's blood. There's quite a bit of blood throughout the facility there.
And she kind of looks at the blood and, kind of rolls her eyes a little bit. And looks back at the Bothan. Like 2 and 2, like I said, just a sec. And then she goes into the ship.
Yep, absolutely. And so the ramp to the ship kind of opens up, and Hemi, you would notice this happening, but just as that's happening, your comm starts beeping. Beep, 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 beep.
Hello?
And he's like, hey, listen, it's Jobel. I just met some strange woman outside, said she's crew. Look, it seems like you guys got stuff going on here. I don't want to bother you. Why don't I just come back later?
It's not as complicated as it seems. We have an injured crew member and an eccentric doctor. That's really it. Our crew member got injured by part of the mechanics on the ship, and we had to call our doctor back in to treat him. That's what the panic was about. It's not a problem.
He's like, all right. And like he's weirdly jittery. Like this shouldn't be like bothering normal people, but for whatever reason, this guy seems like edgy and jittery. And he's like, all right, well, fine. She said give her a couple of minutes. I can't hang around all day, so just let me know when you're ready for me. And
I don't know. Come on in. I can show you to. Oh shoot! Wait. I've probably been in the cockpit since we went back on the ship.
No, you can't. You couldn't get in the cockpit because Ingot shot it. And
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got totally. Okay. So then I tell him. Okay. Yeah. Why don't I give you a call in a little bit, like you said, and we can finish this up.
He's like, yeah, just don't keep me here all day. I got stuff to do, okay?
Absolutely. ASAP.
Great. And just as that is done, Pyrene comes up the ramp with a.
She's all happy. She's like skipping. You know what I mean? Like pushing the repulsor lift in front of her a little bit. And then kind of runs up to it. She's making a game out of it a little bit. Mm-hmm. What's up? Why is there so much blood on the ramp?
It's Cael, and that's why we need you. Come on. And I would be almost like dragging her along back to the med bay.
Don't get so handsy.
And I would pull my hands back and say, Pyrene, for real. We have no time. Cael's gonna die.
Really?
I'm gonna kind of. Eyes are gonna get wide.
Yeah. She looks slightly reluctant. Like you think he'll die? Like right now?
Well, it depends. If we have a doctor on this ship, then he won't. But if we don't have a doctor on the ship, then he will. So
Good thing that I
that's
just
the
happened
problem.
to be a doctor, right?
That's exactly. That's what we're hoping.
You're not Bush. Okay, well, but look, I got all this stuff, and the crate's the same size she is. I'm assuming, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and I got a great deal. I've found out that one of my friends, Macy, she's on plan.
And he would grab it and take it and kind of say, here, let me help you with that. And he would start pulling her along. Come on, Cael's back in the med bay.
Yeah, and she's unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
oh, okay. Well, what happened?
Who knows? I don't.
We
were just leaving the meeting with Cordelia. Come on, he's right back here.
Cordella.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, she's my friend. Don't be mean to her.
And that seems
Cordella.
rather weird because when you left Pyrene, she was like despondent. Like she was basically just crying in her chair or whatever. Almost.
Yeah, I think Hemi in his head, is thinking like whatever antidepressants Cordella's getting for Pyrene. Like, he wants to but he kind of shakes it off, like, not right now. It's not important.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, yeah. Where's the droid?
You would have seen him. Like he was practically like, unless Hemi took him somewhere. I don't know, but
Well,
No, he said he took
Well,
the
he had-
room that had all of his mechanic stuff in it.
he's in my room.
oh, he is. Oh, all right. Then there you go.
With all the
So never mind.
computer
So you wouldn't have
stuff.
seen
But
him
I think you would probably see like some sheet metal that looks oddly like part of Ingot, maybe. I don't know what Ingot thinks, but he got hit pretty hard, so there's probably some metal. But you don't see him because he's bolted up in my room.
Me personally, I think.
And I think
I think I
the
saw
ship's
him
not
earlier.
too big. We'd probably reach the
Yeah.
med bay,
So-
and I would like almost punch it with my fist, like real quick, just like open it up, and
Oh, thank God you're finally here.
Little old me.
I did what I could for him, but he's not in good shape. He needs your attention right now.
Right. Okay. Give me. What? Whoa. When she looks at him. Where's the droid again?
And as she's saying that, I imagine I'm ripping open like another packet of gauze or something to
That's not gonna help.
punching that down. A gash.
And maybe she takes it off, and that's when she's. That. What is?
Oh my God.
Where's the droid? She keeps saying over and over again.
Oh, come on. This guy needs your help.
get
He's
in
a
there,
living, breathing human being.
be a
Get in
doctor.
here already.
Yeah. Okay. So, move. She says to you. You're kind of standing in the way. She's so little. She needs to get where you're standing.
So Sasha will maneuver around Cael without taking her hand off the pressure pad she's got on his chest.
Move your hand there, Sasha. Because I got to see what's in there.
Well, look at this. So I do, and Amy,
So
eyes
okay.
barely.
And she did a passable job of patching him up.
So,
And I'm trying to remember where all else he got hit because he's probably looking pretty rough.
Oh,
Like,
I mean, his whole body is messed up. He just happened to have a big old gash in his torso from the vibroblade.
So where's the critical? Is the critical one across his chest? Is that what that is?
Yeah, well, I mean, I assume that, yes, it would be part of his torso. Ultimately, the way medicine checks will work is you can either heal wounds or attempt to deal with his critical injury.
Right.
And, you know, it's slow. Healing is slow in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And she looks at the two of you and goes, That's from a vibroblade, isn't it? He's not going to bleed out right now and die. And she just kind of gives you a crit. Why is nobody talking to me?
Wait, what?
That looks like that's intentional from a vibroblade, and that wasn't there
sorry.
when I left.
I didn't realize I was muted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agreed with you. I said, yeah, it does look like a vibroblade, but we didn't witness what happened. We just need to do what we can.
And she gets very serious for a moment, and you know you haven't. I mean, you've seen either emotional, like my life is, and now like super happy since she's been back. That's all you've seen. Nothing in the middle. And where's the droid right now?
No, why is that important right now?
Because whoever made this wound isn't going to make that wound on me.
He was passed out last I saw him, and Hemi was taking care of it. Now,
We took care of him.
In the meantime, this guy needs attention. I thought you were a doctor.
I am a doctor, and I'm a
All
very
right.
good doctor.
Well, doctors don't stand around having debates. They take care of their patients.
Then leave so I can do my job.
I'm here to assist you.
I don't need your assistance, girl. And
Oh, really? You don't
and-
you don't usually have a nurse or something that hands you stuff as you need it?
Nope.
You got 8 arms, girl?
And she kind of looks at you and goes, "You don't look much like a nurse. You look more like a."
Well, I got him
pilot."
stable to this point.
Yeah, you're beautiful. And she kind of starts removing some of the bandages. But the problem for you is this: there's no amount of supplies that I'm gonna have that I just bought here that we're gonna be able to fix this. And she points out where you can see that some of his internal organs have been damaged. Period. So the stabilization in which you've done right now to make it is not going to get any better by me here. He needs to go to a medical facility. And that is not in this room.
Well, let's get him moving then. On the double.
I think that sounds like a beautiful idea.
No, we can't do that. Hemi says, did you forget who he is?
And she, you've noticed that Pyrene is already taker.
What about that Dr. Was it Gom?
We're gonna need
Gom.
transport.
We could take him. We could take him to the Gom.
Yeah.
I look at Hemi.
Yep. Probably. Yep. A boat. And you're gonna want to get here as quickly as we can. We have a mortal wound on the patient here.
Are you calling for like an ambulance, basically?
Yep.
Oh my
She already
God.
has.
What is...
When those two were talking about the doctor, she called for. Okay, thanks. See you in a few. And she turns off her communicator.
What did you just do, Pyrene?
I'm getting transport for this man to go to the medical facility. Did you not listen to me?
Are you insane? Do you not know who he is, who we work for, who you work for?
Yeah, I know exactly who I work for, and they will take this man to a facility that is sympathetic to the Hutts. Do you not know what planet we're on, there, Hemi? Or Captain? Sorry. This is Nar Shaddaa, and
We don't...
nobody
we did
gives...
not...
No, I told you because you wanted a doctor, and that's what I did. This man's wounds cannot be fixed here in this ship.
Why do I have a doctor on board if you can't do nothing?
And what you're saying to me. Well, it's going to be here in a few minutes, and that was a call directly to the authorities here on the planet, and if we were to not have them come to take him, I'll go with him. No problem to do that, you know? I am a reputable person. The Hutts kind of, shakes her head at you.
I've never in my life met a doctor who wouldn't at least examine a patient before making a judgment. And I'm gonna punch her, man.
I'm not judging anybody. I'm doing my job as you asked me to.
I am punching her.
Oh my god. Okay. So I have to remember because she's silhouette 1 if that changes anything. I think it's only if it's 2.
You're gonna punch Pyrene?
Yep.
Yes.
Sasha's been fixing to punch somebody for a few sessions now.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my god. Shit, I don't even know. I'm gonna say that it's 2 difficulty. I'm gonna upgrade it with a dark side point. I'm going to give a setback because she's tiny, but I'm also gonna give an upgrade because she is sure as hell not expecting to get punched.
Not at all.
All right.
And she's just talking about the fact that that needs to that this man's wounds. I mean, she's just telling you. It's not
Go for it.
Sasha's pissed, man.
Whatever.
Oh my gosh.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. So.
Oh hell yeah, Jose!
Yeah.
You are barely alive at this point.
I gotta say, this is the craziest game I've ever played in my life.
I think it's.
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
I think it's funny that this is the craziest game. But
when did she invent that you had a gut wound?
well, I mean, yeah. So anyway, Sasha, what's your brawl rating?
Oh, let's see. It is 1 yellow, 1 green.
No, sorry, not brawl. I'm sorry, I meant brawn. What's your brawn characteristic?
Oh, that makes more sense. 2.
Okay, so then the damage is brawn. We'll say +1. So for the success, so what? 3 damage.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep, and I assume that's what we're gonna call it strain damage. But Pyrene, if you have any soak, that is reduced by your soak.
She does have 3 soak.
Okay, so you managed to take the punch.
It's more like a bitch slap at this point.
Yeah, but I feel like you get knocked back, onto the ground a little bit because granted she's much bigger than you, but you're a tough little drawl, so you take it.
We have to get out of here.
We have to give him some attention. What's she got in that box? What's in there?
Here. We've had, oh man, I don't know. Hemi is like running his hands like over his head, like back and forth. He's got like a bald head. He's like kind of freaking out. He's like, we can't take off. We're locked out of the cockpit. We got 2 traitors. Oh my god. What is going on?
Wait. You're locked out of the cockpit? Why did you slap me?
Because you
tie her up.
are not making any sense. Now let's get to work.
Hemi, go ahead if you will, and make a discipline roll for me. I'm gonna do this against just 2 purple. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, my computer's slow to get over.
Okay, no worries.
Here we go. Ooh.
So you are at this point, your addiction is hitting you hard. You feel like, man, this is not what I want. This is not what I signed up for. What the hell is going on with my crazy crew? And you realize you got some death sticks in your pocket, and they're starting to feel real good right now. And I think you're going to unconsciously just grab out a death stick, and you're gonna like start to light it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and as Sasha and Pyrene are, disagreeing is the best way to put it, probably. She smells that. She smelled death stick before. That's not anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you'd probably know, yeah, from your medical training.
Yeah.
Sasha's head whips around, and her eyes lock onto Hemi's. Hemi, we need you to stay with us right now.
Whoa.
So
I'm gonna go meet the ambulance now because, again, Sasha, if we don't meet the ambulance, they're going to send security here regardless.
You shouldn't have called for it. Send them away. Go quickly. Get rid of them and get back here, and let's get working.
Sasha, he has to go with them.
All right.
And so I will ride them. Like I said,
I hoist Cael up on my shoulder again.
Wait. You don't need to do all that.
You should leave with them and go with them to the hospital.
I think that's the best idea you've had since I've known you. And the thing is this, just a second, and she goes out of the room.
I don't want them on this ship.
Stop talking for a second. I'm doing medical things. And she walks out, and she has that lift that she stole that from Cordella. And she pulls it up to the doorway that has been made. Just put him on this.
All right.
I'm here to help you, Sasha.
And I put him on there.
Me. I wouldn't tell you how to fly a ship. And she smiles at you as she rubs her face a little bit from where she left.
This isn't my first time around the block with wounds, though. It's a big difference.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Go.
Okay. Well, and we'll be back. Did you say you have to get into the cockpit? As she's walking, as she's walking away.
Mom, look.
GM, I just need to ask because Sasha did try to tell me to stop. Do I have another opportunity? My goal was to not be doing these. So would I have another opportunity to put it out, or now am I finishing this death stick?
Yeah, I'll give you an opportunity again, but this time it's going to be against... It's that same 2 purple, but you're going to get a setback because there's more pressure now. I imagine the idea of Cael leaving the ship and going to somebody who could potentially find out that he is a rebel and somehow getting tracked back to you is what was your hesitation in the first place. And I'm also going to upgrade it. So yeah, you can definitely try to make another discipline check, but it's going to be pretty hard.
Okay. Any objection to me using a light side point?
Do
Not
it.
at all.
Oh yeah, we had 4. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. All right. Whenever you're ready.
Oh wow.
Okay. So I'm gonna say you're gonna take 3 strain. This,
Right.
for those threats, this is going to take every ounce of your willpower to basically get over this. But if you will, go ahead and describe for me how you kind of overcome this. And if you can think of a cool way to use that triumph, work that in. And if not, I have a suggestion.
So, as I was talking with Pyrene and Sasha, said that she needed me to keep my head on straight. I kind of realized at that moment that I had the nightstick, the death stick, nightstick.
Yeah.
the death stick in my hands. And I kind of looked at it, and it, like you said, it took literally everything, but I just crumple it up in my hand. Like it's destroyed. I still have others. I didn't destroy all of them, but I crumple that one up in my hand, and I throw it out as I finish that conversation. I don't have any ideas for the triumph because I still actually I think this is only the first or second one I've ever had, so I forget what they can give.
Well, I mean, they're really basically it's something really awesome. What I will suggest in this case is, and you can tell me if you want to go with this or you want to change it. You have that clarity, and that's not something that normally would happen with having taken a few drags on a death stick. And to further complicate matters, you get a message from Cordella on your comm. You happen to notice it, right? And she's basically is like, "What the hell are you doing? You're supposed to be meeting your contact. They just called me and said, something's up." And but that does not cause you any more stress. You are now focused and in a mental state of clarity. It's business time, and you will get a boost on whatever your next action will be. How does that sound?
Good. Sorry, I'm contemplating my next action, and none of them are good. Oh man. So having a boost on any of those, that sounds like...
Oh, and I'm sorry, just for clarification, when she was saying your contact, she didn't mean the dude standing outside. She meant like the guy at the Slag Pit who's supposed to have the cargo for you.
Sure, right. Everything else that we have to do. Right. Okay, so kind of he's not panicked anymore. He's calmed down. But there's still a massive problem of a beyond rebel on his ship with now people coming. Now it doesn't matter that they're not official, it's not the Empire, because he didn't want anyone to know that he had this person on his ship. That was kind of the whole point of keeping him super secret and locked on the ship. So this is still a worst case scenario, because if anyone tracks it back here, the Empire has already shown on Toydaria that they'll go places outside of their typical zone if they want to. So he's trying to figure this out. And he can only think of one thing. So he turns to Sasha and says, "Do you have any credits on you?"
No. I haven't had any on me since I got you healed in that alley.
Right.
A few days ago.
And he runs through the pockets of Cael. Does he find any money? Any credits?
I don't think so, but you did get some credits from Cordella when...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was there.
Yeah.
But...
That's right. How many did we have again?
I think...
Let me check my inventory.
If you don't have it written down, I think...
Well, I look. Does anybody... Are you talking to us now?
Nope. Not yet. I was waiting. So I'm
yeah,
going to say...
Find it.
I'm pretty sure you had about 3,000 credits.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Well, I know we had 2 on the original data stick, and then she gave us a new one and more credits. So yeah, I never wrote down
Yeah, the new one was about 3,000. You guys were. I'm pretty sure you guys were pretty much out of credits by the time you got back.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think we were.
Because you had to
have
get
just
fuel
about
and
3,000.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then he says, "Okay, Sasha. Oh, and here's the other thing. Just GM, do you think the cockpit problem is? I mean, that's my specialty, right? I'm gonna probably have to do checks on that door to try to fix it to get in. That's something that I would expect as a character.
Yeah, I mean, so he blasted it, so that wouldn't even necessarily be a computer's check as much as it would be a mechanic's check, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some skill in mechanics.
Yep.
So, okay. So he would say, Sasha, you need to go outside with Cael and Pyrene. Have Pyrene and Cael go off wherever this ambulance is going to take him. We have no control over that now. It's too late. Take this 1,000 credits. Give it to one of the ambulance drivers. And tell them to say this. And he is going to... I think he's going to pull out a digital pad and scribble down a series of notes and then kind of send it digitally. So it goes over to Sasha's readout.
Okay.
And it'll basically, GM here, you just tell me how you want to treat this, but I basically want to pay the ambulance driver to say that Pyrene had smuggled this guy onto the planet.
Say to who?
To the ambulance. I want them to take this as an official, I want it to basically say this guy is a terrorist. This is who he is, and I want to pin it on Pyrene and tell them that.
My eyes widen.
I could just see
you sure about this?
Anthony being like, "Are you kidding me? I was trying to get this guy the whole time." Yeah, sure, whatever. That's fine.
All right.
I mean, the problem is you don't have any control over what they do with that information,
no.
But yeah,
we don't. I mean, I'm also kind of asking Sasha. So saying, and then I go, I don't know. It's the only play I can think of. I don't know why we never should have let it be known who this guy is, but they're going to know who he is once they get him in there. This guy's going to be wanted all over the place. The Hutts are going to know. Everyone's going to know. And we're going to be the people that brought him in, unless somebody tells a different story.
You do realize you're saying this all right in front of her because she hasn't.
Yeah, I don't, I mean, you're a little doctor. You'll get, I'll wait to see. I'll wait to see what you do. But I'm not necessarily trying to hide this terribly. So.
Yeah.
But he didn't say the part about the.
Yeah.
I didn't say any of that.
Yeah. All right. Well. I guess we'll be gone. Can you help me get him on the table?
I already did. I lifted him onto the table.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And
cool.
so yeah, so let's get him out of here before they come crashing through this door.
Why would they come? You guys are so paranoid.
You said they'd call. You said that they would call security if we didn't get him out of here. So let's get him out of here already.
No, what I said is if we stiffed them, that's what would happen. So if we go out there willingly,
I like that idea.
Crashing. Right? You work for a hut, right?
Oh, can we go?
Do you know
already?
who you? Oh, I don't even know.
And I just start carting him up to the ramp so we can get out.
And Byron just looks very confused why you are both so stressed out about this. And she just kind of looks at Hemi, shakes her head. You know those things are bad for you, right?
Blasters are bad for you too. And he starts to rub his handle, the handle of his.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see you guys in a little while after we get him patched up, and I'll bring him back, and then we'll go. Right? If you can get the door open. That looks really bad. Bye. And she kind of turns around and follows Sasha out, and and makes her way to where.
So as soon as we hook up with these guys, and I leave Pyrene to talk to whoever be loading him up, and I go to the driver. God, this is so weird. So yeah, so I go to the driver, and while she's distracted, I have that conversation.
No, what happened? Yeah.
Okay, so do you actually have a conversation, or do you just hand him like some? Oh, I get it. So he was basically saying Hemi sent that note to you to say to the driver that okay, I got you.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. The driver is basically a droid, right? And it's like a droid ambulance. And the droid.
Okay.
The droid looks over to you, and Sasha, and says, "Thank you for the information. We will make sure to notify the proper authorities."
Wait, hold on. I don't think she would go through with a plan with the droid, right? You can't bribe a droid with credit to do this.
Why not?
I mean,
maybe you can.
I would not imagine in the universe that I've known of Star Wars that 99 times out of 100 you'd be able to bribe. I mean, Ingot seems particularly greedy, but that's a unique instance.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you think we're like?
No. Believe me, go with your gut. Like you know.
I don't know. I can't. I wouldn't have expected that a droid would take money for that.
Maybe not.
I don't know. You know what, Sasha? It's completely up to you.
Yeah. So we'll say you're there. You see, it's a droid that's driving.
And what do I know about droids?
You got a crazy fucking one in here.
They cause chaos.
Actually, maybe she would, because she knows that Ingot's all about credits.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many droids Sasha's really had to deal with ever. Right? I mean,
I don't know.
Not a city girl, right? So she probably hasn't had a ton. So no, I guess she just goes through with it.
Okay. And so then the droid responds and says, basically, "Thank you for the information. The proper authorities will be notified."
My pleasure. And I walk back into the ship.
Okay. And Pyrene, would you be basically be getting in the back of the ambulance speeder to tend to the patient as a doctor might?
Absolutely. And is it droids in the back of the is there an attendant in the back, or is it just me?
Yeah, no, there's droids. This is basically like a droid ambulance. There would be like your sort of typical medical thing, but yeah.
Absolutely. And she'd be, they obviously would know medical protocol, and she'd be explaining, what she saw, and tell them to start scans, so on and so forth, see what are the extent, the actual implications of his wounds, so on and so forth. And then as they're doing, their own thing, she sits on, a bench that's probably there that would be for somebody that's traveling with, a victim. And she pulls out her communicator.
Okay.
And she calls Cordella.
Okay.
Does she answer?
Yes.
Hey.
Pyrene, what is going on? My contact over at the Slag Pit says that your crew has not shown up there. This does not bode well.
I fully understand that, girl, but you want to know what really bodes well?
What?
I have that rebel in an ambulance right now by myself. He's worth a lot of money, isn't he, sweetie?
And she says,
remember how you said you wanted me to get rid of him? I think we might have accomplished that goal already, and it was so easy.
And she says, we did not accomplish anything. Yes, take care of the rebel, get him off. This is a complication we do not need. Get rid of him.
He's got a terrible wound, and it could get really bad on the way to the hospital if that's what you wanted me to do, boss.
I do not need the details. I will leave it up to you. But do it quick. My contact is getting impatient, and if this job goes wrong, well, the job better not go wrong.
I understand. But the little side idea that you gave me, I think I'm going to be able to do that really quickly. And then you said if I did.
Sorry, the last part cut out there.
Yeah, no. And Cordella told her that if she got this accomplished, that she'd get her supplies.
Yeah.
So now, if I get this accomplished and he is eliminated, you me supplies, right? I got some, but I could use a lot more.
Yes, that was the deal. You take care of the rebel problem, and we will take care of you.
I love you. I love, girl. I'll call you here in an hour or two. He's not gonna make it back to the ship.
Very good. That's all. If there's any complications, let me know.
And I saw my friend, and then I'm assuming that she hangs up on her.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, she knew you were about to go into some like gossip or whatever, and she's like, "Nope." Click.
Is that what happens?
Yes. Yep. She cuts off the call.
But and she kind of looks at the droids and goes, so what does the scan say?
And the droid says, the scan says that he is in critical condition, needs medical attention immediately. We will be transporting to hospital as per your instructions.
I think the instructions are going to be that, unfortunately, he looks past operable to me. Wouldn't you agree? Unless he was fully taken care of. Is that right?
That is not for me to determine. The doctors at the medical facility will make that determination.
And she shows her medical credentials that she is a doctor. I work with the crew that's on that ship, and he is kind of my responsibility. I really think that we should actually. I have another call to make, and but keep him stable for now.
Affirmative.
And she gets back on her communicator, and she looks up whatever the local.
The local what?
Makes a phone call, whatever the local authorities would be for for whatever this on Narshada.
So I mean, technically the security personnel you're in the Corellian district, so it would be the Corellian port security.
Okay, so she would call 911 again or whatever, and say that she is in an ambulance with a known rebel that she believes was behind or with the attack on Toydaria, and that they should definitely pick him up at the hospital in which they're going to. He is medically stable, but she doesn't want this problem to be on her hands.
Sure. All right. And they tell you that, to proceed to the hospital, and that security personnel will be there. to apprehend
And,
the suspect.
And this all happens before the ambulance. Okay. And she goes, the authorities know what needs to be happening to this patient here. I'm actually going to board back on the ship. You know what to do. Thank you, medical droids. And she walks off the ambulance.
Well, the ambulance was sort of going. Moving. Yeah, it was already moving. So I mean, you can ask them to stop.
Yeah. She and she looks at whatever the lead thing in the back would be. He goes, "Can you ask the driver to stop, please?"
And the droid pauses for a minute, looks at you, looks over to where the driver is, and says, "That is highly irregular and against protocol. I don't believe I can do that."
Why?
We have a patient in need of medical attention. Stopping now would delay that and possibly lead to further complications. It is against protocol.
I fully understand. And she sits down and she updates Cordella on what she's done.
Okay.
Waiting for the ride to happen.
Yeah.
And not interested in trying to help Cael at all.
Right. Yeah, and it's very short. Be like, fine, just tell me when it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you are heading to the medical facility. We will cut back to the ship. Hemi, you have this angry text from Cordella basically saying, WTF. What are you doing? What's taking so long?
So I'm going to respond to Cordella. I'm going to say, was trying to move a sensitive bounty. Pyrene alerted the authorities. Dealing with fallout. Will go to Slag Pit as soon as possible.
And shortly thereafter, you get a response back saying basically what you would expect. I don't care what the problems are, just get it done.
He sends back a text. Understood. But find new ship for the doctor.
And she says
or a new captain.
Yeah, she would respond back and say basically, she's like, she's part of your crew. You deal with her how you will.
Sends back a text. No consequences? ?
You don't get any response back.
That's good enough, he thinks. Hopefully. Or he dies.
And I think at this point, probably, Sasha, you would have gone back to the ship, right?
Yeah, I would have gone right back in and approached Hemi and just waited for him to finish whatever communications he was in.
Yep. And so Sasha reappears.
I do not understand why she wouldn't treat him right here. He was in bad shape, but she could have dealt with it. I don't trust her. I don't like her. And if we can keep her from coming with us, that'd be fine with me.
We've had 2 uses for a doctor, and neither time did we have a working doctor. I don't think my little plan there is going to work. I'm pretty sure we're in a lot of trouble. We have something to pick up for the Hutts. 2 traders on board, locked out of the cabin, and someone waiting to update our transponders but can't because we're locked out of the cabin. There's a lot of problems to solve.
It's a mess. Can we keep her off the ship? Can we not give her free access?
If I can get back onto the cockpit, I think we'll have to get in.
We gotta go meet that Salix person.
I would say go with the droid, but rolls his eyes. That's out of the question.
Yeah.
I guess I think the best thing to do is try to get into the cockpit. We can't fly out of here. We can't do anything without the cockpit. Then we go to Salix. One of us calls about the transponder. That's all we can do.
Yeah, I think you're right. So we have other ways to access the electronics, right? We have the engineering station there, right?
Yep.
That makes sense.
I mean, obviously, you know, flight controls would be in the cockpit, but yeah, you can access a lot of the other stuff. And by the way, the transponder is not in the cockpit, if that's what you're worried about.
Oh, good.
I was imagining it was. Okay,
no,
so
yeah, the transponder is a physical thing within the hull of the ship.
Okay, so we can have that guy come back while I'm working on the door. So that's at least not okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I did misunderstand that completely.
Yeah, that's what I figured, so I mentioned that.
Well,
I was like, he is really worried about that cockpit door. I'm like,
yeah. If that's the case, maybe we wouldn't worry about the cockpit door right now after all then.
Well, I mean, we're going to have that guy come back on and do the transponder thing, so while he's doing that, I might as well be trying to fix the door because we can't go anywhere until it's fixed.
Yeah. So maybe we should go meet Salix after all.
Yeah, we get this guy, okay, yeah.
Before Cordella blows a gasket.
Okay, so that reality in mind then, that this guy can get, okay. So we will, yeah, you're right. I don't want to get killed by Cordella today.
No. Maybe we should take a look at that data stick she gave us real quick though, huh?
Good point.
We don't know what we're picking up. So...
Yeah. We'd have to punch it into one of our mobile pads, I guess. We don't have a cockpit. So, yeah.
Right.
I would fish it out. I think I was carrying it and I would hand it to you.
Okay.
Check it out.
So I'll plug it into mine and see what we got.
So it's definitely a lot of basic information there. You know, most of it is, you know, flight code or docking codes for when you get to Corellia. There is a encrypted, you assume it's a name, right now it's encrypted, of who you're supposed to contact when you get to Corellia. And there are like bank account codes for where shipments will be made. Also, she mentions that in just some general information that Salix is obviously the bartender, the contact that you need to meet with here on Nar Shaddaa, and that he will provide you with all of the material you need to transport the cargo back to your ship, but that he is unaware of what the cargo is and that you are not to ask any questions about it.
Oh, good thing we looked.
Yeah.
All right, well, no mention of what the cargo is, but we're not supposed to ask him about it either, so it's a good thing we took a peek at this. So I guess we better go find this guy.
Sorry, my mute was stuck. Yeah, let's go. Before Cordella has a drive-by on us.
Right. So I imagine we climb back on the speeder.
Leave our mess of the ship.
Jeez, what a mess.
Yep. And so you do, and you start heading out. And as you kind of jump on the speeder, you see the Bothan standing there looking at you, and he says, "Hey, are you the guy? Are you Hemi?"
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Everything's all clear. You can go right on the ship.
You're just gonna let me on the ship?
Yeah, there's a crazy droid in there, though, so if you do anything stupid, he's gonna kill you.
And he says,
Holy crap.
Yeah. He says, "Listen, I don't... This is not what I signed up for. This is not what Cordella told me this was going to be. I don't think I'm the right person for your job."
Did you take Cordella's money?
I haven't taken anything yet. No job's been completed.
Have you said you were going to do a job for Cordella? Because I said I was going to do a job for Cordella, and I'll tell you what, I have never once thought of not doing that job for Cordella.
He's like, I don't know what kind of relationship you got with Cordella, but she asked me to do a favor, but this doesn't look like it's a favor in my favor, if you catch what I'm saying here. I don't know what you guys got going on in that ship, but I don't want to have anything to do with it.
I will hit my communicator to call Cordella.
Okay.
Does it go through?
Yes. And she says, "This better be good. What is going on?"
I have this Bothan here, but he's telling me he won't do the work. He says we're up to things.
And you hear this laughing on the other side. She's like, "You call me and waste my time with this? Listen, I don't care."
You said you could get us a transponder. How am I supposed to do your job without a transponder? You said you understood.
I got you someone to do the job. If you freaked him out and make him want to
Freaked him
leave,
out?
that's on you.
He's been shaking in his boots since he got here. I haven't done anything to him.
Says, "Just if you want him to do the job, then convince him. Otherwise, do the job yourself."
Oh, man, she's making me ass.
She's like, "But you
I
better
know.
hurry either way."
So I will hang up the communicator and just look at the Bothan, and I'll just say, do the job, don't do the job. It's up to you.
And I mean, are you trying to kind of like add any specific, charm or threat or anything like that to that, or he's just going to let the statement stand as it is?
I don't. If he's on a personal favor-to-favor relationship with Cordella, I guess threatening him won't do anything. I don't have any charm. So
Sasha
if he's not
smiles
going to do
sweetly
it,
at him.
Okay,
Yeah,
do
maybe
you
Sasha can
do
do
you say
something.
anything to him?
I just smile.
Okay.
It's all, yeah. No, I just smile like it's all good here. It's cool. We're not as scary as we look.
He's like, "So there's a droid on there, you said? Do I need to talk to him?"
No,
No,
you can just do your thing, and as long as you don't mess with him, everything will be fine.
And he looks really nervous, but he's like, "Oh, I can't believe this. All right, listen, fine, I'll go on your ship, I'll deal with your transponder, but if that droid says anything or looks at me funny, I'm out, okay? And you better not be complaining. Now, it's going to take me a few hours. Is that going to be a problem?"
No, I don't think we're going anywhere for at least a few hours.
I'll take all the time you need. But we have a deadline for Cordella that we got to meet right now, or we'd stay and keep you company.
Okay. So he goes on your ship. Anthony, do me a favor. Make a... make either a resilience or a discipline check for me. It's going to be against 4 purple.
All right. I'm ready.
Go for it. All right. So here's what I'm going to say. Your processors are starting to spin back up. They're starting to come back. Your neural processors are starting, and it's if droids could dream, you're starting to sort of have like a little bit of a dream. But one thing in your dream keeps happening. It's almost as if you're in a room and Papa is there, right? And Papa is very concerned. He's looking at you, and you're in this dream, Ingot, you're like a child. You're like a child Ugnaught, not an actual droid, right? And you're looking up at him, and he says basically, "My son, this is not good. You are injured. You are injured. I do not like this. You hang out with the wrong friends. They are not good for you." And he starts, trying to like pat your head, whatever. And then he kind of, you see him pull his hand away, and it looks like there was blood. And you, in your dream, you feel this sort of like pain as he's patting your head. And he says, "Oh yes, that is a nasty one. Please, you lie still. Do not worry." And you sort of the dream sort of shifts a little bit, and it shifts to basically like you're on a hospital bed, and Papa is standing there, and he's got this needle, right, and he's like sticking it into your arm, but you're afraid because you don't like needles, right? You're this little boy, you don't like needles, you're afraid, but you can't move because you're restrained to this bed, right? And this is starting to freak you out, and you start to twitch a little bit, and he can tell. He says, no, son, please. You will be okay. You need this medicine to get better. You need this medicine to get better. And he says, but listen, this will help fix you. But unfortunately, it will put you out, and I won't be able to contact you. But don't you worry, I will be here. And when you come to, I will be here again, and we will have a discussion about these friends of yours, and I will take care of you, okay, my son?
Yes, Papa.
And then this was all sort of, your digital circuits spooling up, and you are, code is flashing in front of your vision and everything, and you start, all of your synapses and all of the, or whatever they are, your digital sort of things, and your eyes start to light up, and your vision sensors turn on, and you can start to see a little bit, and the code that basically helps you feel sensations within your metal body. You can tell that you are actually restrained. Right now, your vocoder or whatever is not working, so you can't seem to speak. But you're now becoming more and more aware of the fact that you are restrained. And as you kind of look around a little bit, you're on the ship, and you can hear this like banging and whatever out, in the hallway a little bit. But you realize it'll probably take a few more minutes before your vocoder has spooled back up to where you can fully speak.
Okay, cool.
But you're aware of a presence of some kind on the ship based on the noises. Your processors are telling you that this is not just the ship spooling up, that somebody's doing something on the ship.
But I can't communicate at all right now.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And okay, this is what I'm going to do. So we star wipe back to Hemi and Sasha as they are speeding through the streets of Nar Shaddaa. Sasha with her typical, high speed kind of, I know what I'm doing and I'm good at it, and enjoying it. and Hemi hanging on to the back of her, trying not to get sick as you know, she deftly weaves in and out of traffic. But you know, he's used to deftly weaving in and out of computer code, and so you know, this is terrifying. But she gets you there as you're pulling in to the Slag Pit, and you kind of see this, like, it's very nondescript, right? It's very like just this sort of seedy gambling den way down in the bottom levels. And that's gonna get there we go. Sorry, the volume is all messed up right now in Roll20, but and so you guys kind of start hearing this music from outside the club, and there we go. And you know that this place is basically a sort of a gambling den from what you've been able to find out about it. And outside are all of these sort of sketchy looking people. There's, you know, droids, everybody. I mean, this is a place that is absolutely like low rent, right? Like, this is not a good place to be, and you're already getting these vibes. And as you walk into the lobby, you notice two things immediately. The first thing that you notice is there are vid screens in the lobby showing bounties. And you also notice that there is basically an octagonal cage in the middle of this thing, and it seems to be like a fighting pit, you know. There are people in the cage that they seem to be like, you know, organized fighting. People are betting on these fights. And right now there is basically this giant like Wookiee in there fighting against, you know, some Trandoshan or whatever. But you notice that on the bounty board are pictures of Cael, Hemi, Sasha, and Ingot. And it said local criminals wanted, believed to be on planet. And you notice that it says 1,000 credits alive, 500 dead. Nobody seems to be paying much attention. These are small bounties. Most people are paying attention to the fight. And I'm actually going to cut away from that scene to the ambulance in which Pyrene is sitting.
Look at your messenger.
What's that?
Look at your messenger.
Okay, let me see. Okay. And how is that gonna work?
I mean, no, but that's, you know, that's what's because you know, like, so she's looking at her communicator as she's in, and it seems as if she's been getting messages. And she looks concerned. And she tries to call Hemi.
Okay. And does he I mean, if you want to call Hemi, the call will go through. Hemi, you'll get the beep 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 beep.
Yeah, I'll see it's from Pyrene, and I'll take the call.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if this guy's gonna make it. The scan, you know, from the droids here in the ambulance, they're not good.
Well, you know the protocol. Gotta go all the way to the hospital. Doctor's there. I'm sure we'll check him out.
Oh, absolutely, and that's not a problem at all. But you know, it's I I just, I just wanted to give you an update here.
Okay.
Are you? It sounds like you're driving.
No, we're sitting here playing checkers.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Space checkers. So. Like
Oh.
the version of
Yeah,
chess, but instead they glow and they like hover like an inch over.
Cool. Wonderful. I can hear the wind. You're a bad liar. But okay, I figured I just.
Okay, over and out. And he hangs up the communicator. He's not gonna. He's not gonna give any information willingly over to Pyrene, who's obviously not working with them.
And you would notice the bounty boards scroll by to other bounties, local bounties mostly, but the one with Cael on it stays, and that's a huge bounty. You know, that's basically like 10,000 credits for location and information that leads to apprehension and arrest. So it's not like you're there and your faces are just permanently plastered up on the screens, but they do show up. And you see the Bothan bartender behind the bar. And there's a crowd. There are some, there seems to be like a droid sitting there with some like, gank sitting next to him, all cybered up. You see a Wookiee sitting there, along with like an Aqualish, and they look like they are talking, and it might turn to blows. And yet the Bothan kind of swoops over with this, with 2 drinks for them, and he hands them over, and they look at each other and they knock them back, and then they seem like they're okay. And then you hear this great big roar from the fighting pit. And you can't help but turn your head and look, and you see the Wookiee in the fighting pit basically holding his hands up in the air in like a victory sign. And you see this just decimated corpse at this point lying on the floor of the octagon, and you hear all this cheering. The music is playing, and you can physically feel the of the bass from the speakers, and you can you hear just all of this as you see on some of the larger vid screens, displays of pod racing on Malastare and all kinds of different swoop racing. It actually looks like they've tapped into like drone footage of like a street race in Nar Shaddaa, of local swoop gangs. And so this scene is sort of swirling around you, overwhelming your senses. Pyrene is with Cael heading to wherever she's heading to the medical facility. And finally, Ingot, you manage to have your vocoders finally kick in. And you hear what sounds like maybe like a welder or something like that. You can hear this outside. It's rather faint, but you can hear something. And you realize you can communicate.
I'm going to call for them. Assistance required. Please. Assistance required. Danger. Danger.
And you hear this clank, clack, clack, whatever, as like some metal was dropped on the floor or whatever. And then all of a sudden, a couple of minutes later, you hear the door open. You kind of can barely cock your head up to see it, and you see the face of this Bothan sort of peek in. And when he sees you're restrained, he then kind of comes in all the way, and he says, "So you You must be the droid they were talking about.
Please, inform me. Who do you work for? You could be in danger.
He says, what do you mean, be in danger?
Please, I must understand your credentials before I share sensitive information with you.
He says, listen, I work for Cordella. I'm here to fix your transponder.
This group of individuals, they are criminals sent to assassinate Durga the Hutt. Please release me.
And he says, no, I don't think I can do that. They warned me about you. I
work for the Hutts, and here is my credentials in my back pocket. I am a legal bounty hunter, seeking out assassins. They have bounties on their heads.
He says, well, that sounds kind of bad for them. Listen, I'm gonna fix the transponder. Don't you worry though. If they come back, I'll let you know.
Warning, warning. Transponder, once fixed, will detonate the ship. We will all blow.
He says, no, it won't. And what happens?
But here, I try to do deception.
No, because here's what happens. He walks out the door. You know that he would have to turn and go down sort of towards the engine room to find the transponder and to start working on it. He turns the other way towards the cockpit, and that's where we're going to end it.
Oh, man. I can't have that last little moment.
No, I don't think, because it doesn't, he wouldn't be able to answer anyway. So, but yeah, okay. So that's where we'll leave it. I think that, that will mean that we'll definitely have to pick it up and do the meeting at the Slag Pit and hopefully get you guys to Corellia maybe. Although after the events of this session, I don't know if you'll ever make it to Corellia, but we'll see. But wow, guys, like that was some crazy stuff that happened.
Oh man.
Wow, this is crazy. This is awesome. Awesome, number one. Crazy, number two.
Right. Oh man, just when I thought we were gonna get another crew member too, but no.
Yeah.
But wait.
Three of them.
100%, you guys don't know that she did that. Period.
Well,
what do you mean? You right in front of us called the authorities to come pick this guy up,
right.
like literally right in front of us.
No, I understand that, but you don't know that
But
I don't know why that would.
Because of who he is.
He's a fucking traitor. He's a rebel. He's a partisan that works for Saw Gerrera. Like, what do you mean you don't? Like, that is the last. That would be like if you had like John Gotti's right-hand man, like, in your basement in 1987, and you and your friends, and one of you is just like, oh, let me call an ambulance because he got cut. Like, that would be the craziest thing ever to do on a planet ran by mobsters. And you just did that right in front of us. Like, how... I was so flummoxed. I was like, how do we even respond to this?
No,
what do we do?
You know what I mean? But that.
We were betrayed by half of our crew in 45 minutes. I was like,
unbelievable.
What?
Can't trust anybody
at the same time.
And right in front of us.
Yeah. So good.
I love it.
Curses on Zaya for saddling us with that wench.
Yeah.
I love that, like, I don't know. It's so funny to me.
Everybody's out for themselves in this game.
It's totally true, and it's great because it's like there's so I don't know. I have, like, believe it or not, like, there is some information that some of you don't know that has led to some of these decisions, and it's funny because to me, I'm like, why are they making these decisions? This doesn't make sense. And then I'm like, oh, because they don't know all the the stuff. And I'm like, why are they doing these things? Like, you don't let somebody on your ship without supervision.
I mean,
like, what?
See, the thing is, I don't want to. But
Right.
it's like we have the jobs for like you design like encounters and tasks for a 4-person crew, but we don't have a 4-person crew. We don't even have a 2-person crew because we have 2 people that essentially travel with us and actively work to destroy us from the inside. So we have a 4 people worth of jobs to do. We have to be in 3 places at the same time, and we can't split anybody up to go anywhere because half of them will kill us. Like literally kill us.
Well, to be fair, none of them actually want to kill you.
I don't want to kill anybody.
Yeah.
I want to turn everybody in.
Everybody do my fucking job.
Well, Ingot wants to get us killed.
I said half. I meant half of the half that are betraying us. Half of them want to kill us. That's Ingot. And he doesn't maybe want to pull the trigger, but he wants to turn us over to a bunch of swoop bike gang people who will kill us. So it's essentially the same thing. He's trying to kill us. And if we gave him no choice, he would kill us and take the 500 credits instead of the 1,000. So it's not like he won't kill us.
This is true.
We're literally traveling with people who want to kill us, and now we know that. But we also know that there's somebody else who wants to turn over the only piece of valuable thing that we have to the Hutts for no reason.
Frickin'.
Yep. And you know what's going to happen when Ingot realizes that Cael is not on the ship and that he's going to lose that ginormous bounty? I don't know what's going to happen, but I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Well, what's going to happen is that Pyrene's going to let him know.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Pyrene may not like the outcome of that.
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know. How are we going? I don't know how you want to run that because, like, to be honest, like, there's no, like, Hemi and Sasha, I think, totally like saw this person essentially betray them in front of them. So that's not a crew member anymore.
Right.
I think
but she's still totally involved in everything.
Yeah. I think that what will have to happen is a conversation at some point, and we will see how that goes because that will be interesting to say the least. Especially because I imagine that somebody will say, "Why did you do that, Pyrene? Why?" And Pyrene seems to tell the truth.
To pay off my college loan.
Well, no, she keeps saying that it's no big deal. Like, and
right.
Like, it's no big deal. Like, whatever. No big deal.
Yeah.
We're not criminals.
Yeah.
He's not a terrorist wanted out in like several systems.
Yeah, we think we have college loan issues in America. We're like selling people to die to pay off your loans. Holy moly.
Yep. It is bad news. All right, well.
That's all I gotta say. Conversation, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I don't know about telling you, if you know better. You know what I mean?
Don't go to Hutt University. That's the lesson.
That's true.
Hutt University.
Hutt University.
And
Cordella, she told Cordella that Cael, and Cordella ordered her to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So that's really the reason she.
So needless to say that, at some point I imagine Pyrene will tell that to Hemi and then we'll see what happens. But
you know what I mean? And I'm sure she'll tell him at some point. You know what I mean? It's just like